Hi, this is Amy at the Virtual Planetarium at Raritan Valley Community College. Let's take a look at some of the things that we can see in the sky for the week of June 14th. The summer solstice is on Saturday, June 20th at 5:44 p.m. On this day, the sun rises as far north of east as it will all year and sets as far north of west as it will all year. It also reaches its highest point in the sky. It does not pass directly overhead here in New Jersey. It gets to about 72 degrees above the southern horizon. You can see me here at noon, and I still have a shadow in front of me because the sun is not directly overhead on the solstice. Compare this to my shadow at noon on the first day of winter. The sun is only 26 degrees above the horizon in late December, so my shadow stretches far out in front of me, even when the sun is at its highest point in the sky. For the sun to be directly overhead and for you to have no shadow at all, you need to be standing on the Tropic of Cancer on the summer solstice. That is 23.5 degrees north of the equator. Some of the countries that the Tropic of Cancer passes through are Algeria, Egypt, India, China, Mexico, and the Bahamas. There's an annular eclipse of the sun on Sunday, June 21st. Don't get too excited. It's not visible from the United States. The path travels through Central Africa, northern India, and part of China. Some people will refer to this eclipse as a ring of fire. For this type of eclipse, the moon is slightly farther away from Earth and therefore smaller in our sky. It won't completely cover the sun. That leaves a ring of the sun's disk still visible when the moon is centered in front of the sun. If you are watching this eclipse, you will need to wear your eclipse glasses throughout the entire event. Solar eclipses and lunar eclipses happen 2 weeks apart. This annular eclipse is sandwiched by 2 lunar eclipses. One was on June 5th and the next on July 5th. Unfortunately, both are penumbral lunar eclipses, where the full moon moves through the dimmer outer part of Earth's shadow. It's usually hard to even notice a darkening of the moon during these eclipses. Well, what can we see this week? If we look at our sky around 8 p.m., 10 p.m., and look high overhead, we will see our friend the Big Dipper and the curved handle, Arcturus. We come to the fourth brightest star in the sky, Arcturus. I want to share a little historical story about Arcturus. In the early 1930s, astronomers estimated Arcturus's distance at 40 light years. In 1933, Chicago hosted the World's Fair, highlighting progress in science and industry. 40 years earlier, in 1893, Chicago had hosted another World's Fair. To symbolically connect these two fairs, separated by 40 years, scientists focused the light of Arcturus onto a photocell and used the electric current generated to flip a switch that turned the lights on at the fair's opening. We have since refined Arcturus's distance to 37 light years away from the Earth, but it was a neat idea to get the light from a star 40 light years away that left that star at the time of the previous fair to herald in the new fair. Rising in the east is our friend the summer triangle. The points are Altair in Aquila the eagle, Deneb in Cygnus the swan, and Vega in Lyra the harp. The bright star Vega will be passing overhead around 2 a.m. At midnight, we will see the triangle pointing us to the planets Jupiter and Saturn. They're quite bright in the sky, so they should be easy for you to pick out. The moon is going through its waning crescent phases this week, so you may be able to see it in the morning sky. Look for it in the east just before or just after sunrise. The sun is rising around 5:30 a.m. these days. Notice how the sun is rising so far north of east. After the solstice, it will rise slightly south of where it did the day before and continue that movement until the winter solstice, when it rises and sets at its southernmost locations. Well, that's our sky for this week. Thanks for joining me in our virtual planetarium. We look forward to seeing you in our real planetarium in the future. Until then, keep looking up.